You live in a small band 40,000 years before anyone has ever written a single word down. No police radio, no courtroom, no lock on any door, just firelight and people you have known your whole life. And one man in your group is bigger, louder, and simply takes whatever he wants whenever he wants it. No sheriff is coming, and no jail cell is waiting. Whatever happens to him next, the group has to decide together tonight. If your ancestors had let one bully take over camp after camp, you might not exist to watch this. What 40 ordinary people did to him next is stranger and more effective than anything your legal system has ever built. This is Knock, and this is his wolf pup Ash, and tonight you're going to watch a tribe put a bully on trial without a single law. For most of human history, bands like Knox had no chief, no king, and no ruler at all. That sounds backwards. We assume the strongest ape always rules. Ancient human bands did something almost opposite. In 1999, anthropologist Christopher Boehm at the University of Southern California called this a reverse dominance hierarchy. Instead of one strong man ruling the group, the whole group actively worked together to keep any one man from ruling. Boehm studied dozens of foraging societies across the world and found the same pattern again and again on every continent. Anyone who tried to boss others around, hoard food, or bully the weak got a name for it: an upstart. And an upstart in a small band of only 40 people was, statistically speaking, in very serious trouble. Because the group didn't need a formal court at all. Every single person around that fire was the court. That very night, without a single word spoken aloud, the whole quiet camp made a decision about him. The first weapon the group used against him wasn't a spear at all. It was simply talk. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner spent years quietly recording real firelight conversations among the Jew/Hoansi Sand people of the Kalahari. By day, people talked about food and work. By night, most of the talk turned to something else entirely. Gossip, complaints. Who was too greedy? Who was too proud? Who needed to be taken down a notch? It sounds petty, almost childish. It wasn't. Gossip was the group's very first real tool for controlling a bully. You still do this today. You still whisper about the co-worker who takes credit for everyone else's work. In a camp this small, a bad reputation could never truly hide. Everyone heard everything, sooner or later. For most people, that alone was enough. The fear of being talked about kept most upstarts in line. Most bullies, when faced with 40 people quietly judging their every move, actually backed down. But not this particular man. He shrugged off the whispers and reached for more than his share again. So the group moved to step 2. And step 2 was designed to hurt where a bully is weakest: his pride. The next night, an older hunter stood up and mimicked the bully's strut, exaggerating every swagger. The whole camp laughed together. Not with him, but at him. And everyone made absolutely sure he saw it. Boehm called this the group's favorite weapon of all: ridicule. It costs nothing, and it works almost every time. A reputation for cruelty can be powerful, but a reputation for being a joke is simply unbearable. Then versus you today, kids still do this on playgrounds. Adults still do it in group chats. Even Ash seemed to relax a little, now that the bully had gone quiet for once. For 3 days, the bully tried to laugh along. For 3 days, it clearly cost him something. But on the 4th night, instead of backing down, he grabbed a spear and threatened the man who mocked him. That single act changed everything. Ridicule works on bullies who still care what the group thinks. This one didn't. So the group moved to a colder tool. They simply stopped sharing with him. No angry speech, no direct confrontation. Just meet past quietly hand to hand and somehow never reaching him. In a world with no refrigerators and no stored food, being cut off from sharing could be a death sentence. Anthropologists studying modern foraging groups today, like the Hadza of Tanzania, still see this exact same pattern. Knock almost felt a flicker of sorry for him. Almost. Then he remembered the spear pointed at his friend's chest. So at dawn, the band did something the bully never saw coming. They packed up camp and simply left. Desertion. If you couldn't out-argue a bully, and shame didn't work, you simply walked away from him. Quick pause. If a story like this makes you feel something, drop a fire emoji below. It tells me to make more of these. Then versus you today. This is the ancestor of being frozen out of the group chat or never invited to lunch. Forging bands move camp often anyway. Leaving a bully behind cost the group almost nothing at all. Alone, without a group, in a world of predators and winters, a single man rarely survived long. For most bullies, that fear alone brought them crawling back, apologizing, changed. But not every bully learns. Weeks later, out in the wild alone, he found them again. And this time, he wasn't looking to apologize. That night, he hurt someone badly, and the entire camp finally understood. Talking to him had run out. In 2019, Harvard biologist Richard Wrangham published research on exactly this kind of desperate moment. He called it the execution hypothesis. When nothing else worked, the group's last resort was to remove him, together. Not one man's decision, not one man's spear. Every hand shared the weight, so no one carried it alone. By the next morning, the danger was simply gone. No one spoke of it again, and no one ever needed to. Anthropologist Richard Lee, during decades working with the Jew/Hoansi San, documented real cases echoing this exact pattern. A man who hurt others again and again, past every warning, was ultimately stopped by the whole community, not one avenger. This wasn't mob violence. It was the earliest form of a jury, everyone deciding together, so the decision belonged to no one alone. Then versus you today. Your modern jury of 12 exists for the exact same reason theirs did. Spread a hard decision across many hands, and no single person has to carry the full weight of it alone. Within just a few days, the camp felt like itself again. Laughter came back before the fear had even fully left. Here is the part that quietly changes everything you thought you knew. You assume the strongest man ruled ancient tribes. It's backwards. For 300,000 years, the tribe ruled the strongest man, not the other way around. Wrangham argues this happened again and again, generation after generation, until it slowly changed what humans even are. He calls it self-domestication. Every generation, the most violent, uncontrollable men were the ones least likely to have children. Which means, quite literally, the reason you can sit through an entire movie without punching a stranger is this exact history. Somewhere in your ancestry, a group of 40 people decided a bully didn't get to pass on his temper. And you're the result. Then versus you today. Every time you walk away from a fight instead of escalating it, that instinct is 40,000 years old. Your HR department, your group chats, your group project rules, all distant cousins of that fire circle. Equality was never an accident of prehistory. It was actively defended night after night by ordinary people willing to act together. Nock never became a bully himself, mostly because he knew exactly what the fire circle would do about it. No prison ever bill has a conviction rate quite like 40 people who have all known your name for years. And that, more than any law ever written, is what kept a bully from ever ruling your ancestors for long. So the next time someone tries to take more than their share, remember, you come from people who simply said no. Not with weapons first, with whispers, with laughter, with quiet distance, and only at the very end, together. Same human, different world. If this tribe would have kept you around, drop a fire emoji in the comments and tell me, would you have spoken up? And if you've ever felt that same tension in a room with someone who won't stop taking more than their share, now you know exactly which instinct is talking. It's 40,000 years old, and it is still right. Next time, we follow Nock into a strange night even the fire couldn't fully explain. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Same human, different world. And now you know.